that opium.
In western Kandahar, poppy farmers score, till, harvest their crop, and the Americans do nothing to stop them.
Oh, they give them the fertilizer.
U.S. soldiers greet farmers.
Can you show me which poppy field is yours?
They commiserate with farmers.
Because if it isn't part of our crew, we're burning it.
I'm very sorry for this field.
Don't pay cut. Shut it down.
Better harvest next year.
And that's why soldiers ignore and encourage the farmers.
Yeah, ignore and encourage.
Farmers would blame the U.S. for their poverty and turn toward the Taliban.
Oh. If we secure them having a good harvest, now they're going to get paid for all their hard work, and then we can deal with the trafficking afterwards.
We can deal with the trafficking afterwards. The whole country's Taliban. It's a bunch of tribes, but they know Americans are dumb. It's like our media claims Al-Qaeda is based in Iran. Those are Shiites. They're arch enemies of the Saudi Arabian Wahhabists. But I don't know the soccer teams in Pakistan, do you? Just like we don't know who the players are over there. They just completely play us as idiots. But it got worse with Geraldo Rivera. You can watch the whole clip online. Just type in Geraldo Rivera, U.S. government growing opium. They give them the fertilizer, security, and then load it on and fly it here. And we'll deal with the trafficking when your dumb kid uses it. We'll throw them in a private prison owned by big banks that launder the drug money. Let's play that clip.
These troops have confiscated 10,000 pounds of opium before the profit reached the Taliban.
And in a sense, you're watching as this opium is being grown. I know it grinds at your gut.
Oh, yes, grinds.
How do you deal with it? What are you doing about it?
Well, frankly, this is a part of their culture. So while it might grind in my gut, it's what they do. We provide them security, we're providing them resources, and we're providing them alternatives.
The Marines are doing the good thing. Dave, Clayton, and Allison, back to you guys in New York.
He just explains it better than we can ever read in any paper, what a dilemma it is with the opium trade.
And they make so much money off the opium per yard there. They make so much money compared to those other crops.
This is the group
so it
thing.
Sounds great in theory, and Geraldo says this predicament that these politicians have put these guys in.
Predicament.
Tell them, hey, make a lot less money than the heroin you could be making with the poppy.
And they can't destroy it.
Right.
Again, Pat Tillman wrote home about this. They had to kill him. Troops were calling me. We were covering it. That, yeah, we guard it. We give them the fertilizer. It's loaded on C-130, shipped to America. So the system said, look, we'll just throw it in your face.
What do you think about paying higher utility bills because of the EPA's new regulations against power plants?
You know, there may be some new regulations coming up against power plants at this point. But unfortunately, right now, I think that our citizens, statewide and nationwide, basically are overburdened, especially with today's economic developments and situations that are going on. I think rate hikes should be at a minimal to at least try to alleviate some of the burden on our taxpayers and our citizens nationwide and statewide.
I know a lot of people that are going to be not only shocked but a little bit irritated about that as well.
Sure.
I mean, they're already, because it's such a hot summer.
Exactly.
You know, everybody's bills is already out through the roof.
You're already paying through the roof because the ACs are running nonstop, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, on top of that and with a downturn economy, yeah, it's doesn't seem to jive that well.
Of course, I don't want to pay higher utility bills. They're already extremely high right now as it is.
Well, I don't want to pay more because of the carbon dioxide thing. That doesn't seem right, especially if it's not even proven.
Generally, I prefer regulations that deter pollution and paying a little bit more for that than an unregulated environment.
It all has to be regulated some way, right? It's going to mess our environment up.
I understand the tax on carbon footprints, but I mean, who's getting a new Lexus, you know what I mean?
Time magazine reports, despite more than a dozen international conventions banning slavery in the past 150 years, there are more slaves today than at any point in human history. More than 500 mostly small-scale trafficking syndicates, Nigerian, Chinese, Indian, and Russian, among others, collude and corrupt police officials to enslave local victims. Obama has pledged to make the fight to abolish modern-day slavery a top foreign policy priority. But the U.S. currently spends more in a single day fighting drug trafficking than it does in an entire year fighting human trafficking. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, after drug dealing, human trafficking, both sex trafficking and trafficking for forced labor, is tied with the illegal arms industry as the second largest criminal industry in the world today. And it is the fastest growing. There are an estimated 600,000 to 800,000 children, women, and men trafficked across international borders annually. Approximately 80% of human trafficking victims are women and girls, and up to 50% are minors. The total market value of illicit human trafficking is estimated to be in the excess of $32 billion. Sex trafficking is an engine of the global AIDS epidemic. And of course, we can detach ourselves from these mind-numbing statistics, simply turn on our TVs and escape to an illusion of celebrity lifestyles, selling us their mythical realities as we all eat from the vicarious trough of slop we are fed by our masters. Our masters, you ask? In 2009, Foreign Policy magazine ran an article entitled, "The Next Big Thing, Neo-Medievalism," arguing that the power of nations is declining and being replaced by corporations, wealthy individuals, the sovereign wealth funds of monarchs, and city-state regions. At what point will we wake up sharing the same hardships as these slaves in third world countries? John Bound, InfoWars Nightly News.
You feel comfortable with the fact that Facebook is data mining all your personal and private information, including, your friends and family's activities?
I mean, I can't say that that's comfortable, but I think anything that you put up on the internet is up for public scrutiny.
I'm not comfortable with that at all. Although I know they're doing it, and I wonder exactly what they're doing with all the information.
The government agencies realize that it's a good way to, pick up on things that they don't like, or especially illicit activities.
You should, keep your settings on private, and you should be careful with what you post on there.
It's easier to monitor people on Facebook than it is to tap people's phones, I think, to a certain degree.
Anything you put up on the public sphere, I think, is essentially public information.
Just with the internet in general, we are getting more used to, our business being out there and just getting used to, I guess, our privacy diminishing a little bit.
I'm just not going to be very informative on Facebook anymore. No.
There's no way to describe what a con artist Al Gore is. I mean, I never even used profanity on air in 16 years, and I have to use it for him. This person, I mean, I would not buy anything from them. If they came to my door, I would call the police. I mean, Al Gore is a swollen bag of scrofulous pus. Al Gore is an anti-American globalist who's called for a post-industrial America because he has investments with Maurice Strong in China. When they shut down our industries, that increases their insider industries over there. And now he claims he controls reality. Al Gore now is running, as we speak, a 24-hour propaganda piece saying that it's a hoax that we don't believe in man-made global warming, and that anyone who criticizes him works for oil companies. When we document, it is the major oil companies with Ken Lay, with Al Gore on record. That's even in the New York Times, who came up with this to shut down coal that is their competition. Now, is coal perfect? Certainly not. Do they have a lobby fighting Al Gore? Some of them, yeah. But he mixes all of this together. So I want to play this clip, but this is a guy who wants you to pay more for less. This is a guy who's a globalist and hates this country. And this is a guy who has been so full of crap through the years. Do I need to list the examples? Invented the internet. The list goes, NAFTA and GATT are a great idea. It's a good deal, Larry, on Larry King Live. We'll go ahead and go to this disgusting clip. I probably can't watch much of it.
Become a mudslide. A forest can become kindling.
Oh.
Across the globe, cataclysmic
Al Gore
weather
money.
events are occurring with such regularity that it's being called a new
Pay
normal.
Al Gore money and there won't be forest fires.
And there's something else.
I say it with a trendy lesbian.
The truth about climate change.
The truth. I have the truth.
Big coal are spending big
I
money
invented the
to spread
internet.
doubt about climate change. They've been able to do so quietly. But
no, buddy, you are the hoax.
14th, the world will
They've been able to do so quietly
of reality.
with us trying to shut them down.
Attention on the full
For like 24 hours of
scale and impact
I'm sorry.
of the climate crisis.
24 hours of Al Gore sitting on the toilet crapping on us. Look, I can't take any